listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show.
Nobody knows where we might end up.
On cue.
Nobody knows.
That's right. We're good.
Oh, it's fantastic to be here.
Ooh, it's fantastic to have you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a supersized edition of the Grey's Anatomy After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Jason J. Carter in the hot seat with my lovely ladies, O.M. Jizzle. We are all together again. It's been months.
Back together.
Yay!
I'm stoked to be here tonight. I'm Julie Partin, returning from a long hiatus where I popped out a tiny human.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
I'm Starr Session, and you can find me at StarrSession.
And I am Kellie.
And on our wonderful AfterBuzz couch, we have our resident legal eagle, Jason Romrell. Yay!
What's up?
Jason's in the house.
Yes, tweet him on Twitter at UpYourBiz. Hello, Jason. How are you?
Hello. Good.
Yo biz.
I like how you're wearing a shirt that's reminiscent of a tux.
This was the finale to
Tux?
wear a tux for, so I dressed
Agreed.
appropriately.
You did.
Yes.
Business casual.
Well, really cool. All the Twitter fans were like, "Where is Up Your Biz? Why hasn't he been back?" You know. So we're glad to have you on the couch. And I'm sorry you had to sit on the couch because Julie came back, but it's all the same. Yeah.
Love the couch. It's
The
nice,
lighting's
soft
really good
leather.
there. Yeah.
I'm not
Comfy.
sorry. If you tried to make me sit
Yeah.
on that couch,
Maria Menounos knows how to pick a couch.
kidding, Jason.
Wow, you guys. So last week we did not have an episode. We're gonna recap, but you know what? It doesn't mean we don't have to recap anymore because the finale was tonight and the finale was fantastic. And overall, it's been the countdown to farewell to Cristina.
Right.
And so let's just talk about, tonight's finale. Me and Kellie were saying that season 6 and prior were probably better finales in the sense of the drama, in the sense of the shock value,
Right.
and everything about that makes because Grey's is famous for their finales.
But maybe in terms of the shock value, but this one to me was pretty flawless.
Yeah, I think that this episode, I would have to disagree that even though it wasn't like someone died or something really traumatic happened, I mean, something traumatic did happen, but I just felt like in the end, this episode still left me wanting more for next season.
Right.
So I want to come back. So it did its job.
It did its job. It is definitely effective. Yes, Cal.
Who did you want more from this episode, though?
I don't know.
The difference for me was that in the first few seasons of the series when it started, you, like, at least in my opinion, you had a connection with each and every character on the show.
Yes.
And here, like, when Shane wanted to go,
It was like,
didn't really
peace.
care.
Well, we never
Leia
cared
was
about those
when
interns.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the difference. Not necessarily the shock value or anybody dying, but just the cast itself and what you feel like with each character, I feel is so different from when the series first started up
Right.
to now.
True.
Because
Totally.
I felt connected and I want to see more from all the original characters
Right.
that we know and love and not necessarily any of the added parts when before
Sure.
it was kind of everybody.
And that's what we're saying, since the season that there's too much in the gumbo. There's too many ingredients for us to focus
we've
on
been
one
saying
flavor,
that all
you know?
season.
What
For
I
sure.
feel like tonight was, though, this was Cristina Yang's swan song.
Swan
because
song.
this, in my opinion, is one of the strongest female characters that has ever been on TV.
I agree.
She rocked that true personality. Besides the little, PTSD that she had, that personality shone through consistently
Right.
all 10 seasons. She seems like a very real, palpable person. I think she's one of the only ones of any of Shonda's shows to be nominated for an Emmy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was just like a fantastic character, and I think they knew that and devoted the episode to her.
Yeah.
Well, and beyond that, Julie, yes, she's an iconic television personality and character and all that, but just in the whole legacy of Grey's and the lineage of Grey's, you can't have Grey's without Cristina Yang. You know that.
I know.
Like, it's going to be weird next season, for sure.
Jason, when you watch the show, I mean, you've seen several seasons, several episodes of Grey's Anatomy. Her leaving tonight, what was it like for you? What were you feeling? What was going through your head?
20 questions.
I was a little sad. I mean,
Yeah.
but for me, it wasn't emotional until and as cheesy as it was when I saw it coming, it was the dance between the two of them, and then I thought, that was really touching. That was nice.
I think so. And what was really fantastic about tonight was they brought back the elements of why we love those two together. And I mean, we've seen them come from rivals to best friends to experiencing near-death experiences to this culmination of their relationship. And I felt like tonight's episode, they could have did without the explosion for me.
You kept saying that.
Because it was like, okay, it was almost like you have this rush, all this activity, and then...
Yeah, but that kind of brought us back to why we love the show. Like all these things going on in the hospital, people running around. I felt like, yes, of course, it was probably not needed, but I felt like it just kind of made it go full circle when it came to this episode. That we got to see like trauma and guts and blood.
But did we need that?
I love that.
It did feel really segmented between the first half and the second half.
It did. But I needed that. I like to see the guts and the blood and all that good stuff.
And that eye part.
The eye popping.
That was kind of one of the craziest things they've ever showed.
But was it needed though? That's the thing, because
I think it was, because also it was the drama of Owen not knowing if Cristina was alive or not, and I think that was a good element. And when he thinks he sees her, but then she runs off, we know she's there, but he doesn't know, and it just kind of leaves that little tension because you're feeling for him that he still doesn't know. And
I know all for that European Charger. We don't know if she went to the mall or
she went to Radio
not.
Shack and got it. But Kelly, I agree with you to some extent, but what I'm saying for the consistency and the quality of the show, we all watch Grey's and pull different things from it.
Right.
For me, it's visual, aesthetic, and the music and the emotion. That's what grips me. So when they had the explosion and then
the music was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like this heightened sense of awareness and like orchestration. And then you had the CIA dude like girly Meredith. It was just too much going on. Whereas you had a jewel of a storyline, Cristina leaving, and all these different elements you could have pulled into that to make it so like weepy and just powerful that I felt.
She only had a really big connection with only certain characters that they couldn't have been the whole episode.
Yeah, to have the goodbyes of the whole episode would have been way too much.
Way too much, way too long, and then we would have been complaining about that.
Because we've been saying goodbye to her for like
half the season.
Half the season.
They announced there was no shock to it. We knew it was coming.
Right.
The thing that we did get to see was some good development with other characters.
Oh, yeah.
I loved what April and Avery went through with this explosion.
Like, we needed them to kind of come together and her to deal with their pregnancy and all of that was going on with them, and the bonding with
Catherine and
Catherine.
So let's talk about that. Because Jason Michael Romrell, Legal Eagle, Esquire. So as you know, Cristina Yang was nominated for the Harper Avery, and we come to find out that there was no way she was going to win it. She was just, a poster kid for it because she works for the hospital. Is there any kind of legal ramifications for that? Were they in the wrong? Like, what could have possibly? Because she had sued the hospital for that.
That's a good question. So they probably had a good team of lawyers put together the rules of getting the award, and it's subject to their discretion. She probably couldn't win a lawsuit for that.
And it was off the record entirely when Catherine Avery said that.
And and that's a good point. I mean, how would you prove it? I mean, testimony is proof, but it's probably a stretch that she could sue them and win.
Right.
But is it legal to do that?
It depends on the rules. So if the Harper Avery Award is given out because the board votes whomever they think the best is, then that's the board's discretion.
Right.
I mean, it's like art.
Yeah.
Who decides what is good art and what's not good art? It's the same thing with who's the best, who's the award-winning doctor.
Right.
So from a character standpoint, how much of Christina's decision to leave was based on that. Because I didn't feel like much.
Me neither. I felt,
no. That was just like getting us
happened.
ready for the finale and needed like some kind of oomph.
Right.
It kind of made her character full circle because she's been working so hard to be the best of the best, and that I think showed that like you don't have to win that award to be the best.
And when she
Just
schooled
working
that
hard.
guy, she schooled that guy that was interviewing for the job, head of cardio.
Right.
And she put him in his place. It's not about that.
It's not.
It's about the lives.
But she figured that out once she went to Switzerland. Am I correct?
I don't know, but Starr yelled Singapore.
I was
whenever
like,
they showed that
She was
city.
like, Malaysia.
But she said it so Oprah-like.
Like, you get Singapore. You get a Singapore.
Jason said, "You get a hospital.
Yeah,
you get a hospital."
Do you think wasn't it nice to see Cristina so huggy? From someone who was so anti in my personal
No,
space,
it
and we're
was
not gonna
so
hug
awkward.
it out. I think the evolution of her soft, warm, inviting nature
She was
now.
like, hug? It was really awkward. It was really
But I also felt for Meredith in this episode though too, because I felt like Meredith. I know what it's like for someone to leave your life that you care about a lot, or move away, or just move on. You know, you're happy for them. You wish them the best, but they're taking a piece of you with them. You know, because that's an investor relationship. They've gone being choked out, which is my favorite.
OMG.
The choke was fantastic.
Bring it up one more time.
That choke was fantastic. But and so I felt, and then like the tears, just I was right there with them. What did you guys think?
That moment when those two women were saying goodbye to each other, that's hardly genuinely ever portrayed on television that well.
Right.
Two grown women, professionals, looking at each other, and you feel that they don't want to leave each other. That relationship seems so incredible, and it was so sad to see them say goodbye to each other.
It's definitely indicative of their personalities, so not like boohoo and like super be all over each other, but the tearing of the eyes
and they
just,
junior high danced together.
I mean, I just really thought
the
that
slow-mo.
Ripped my heart out. Where are they going to go with this?
That was definitely the most emotional part for me because you can really feel that is a real relationship. Like those characters, you just kind of can relate to them in a different way than most friendly characters I think on TV.
And for the viewer, and for us, and for the fans of Grace, so what they do so well is they're able to bring back familiar things that we might have forgot about or haven't been touched on in a lot of seasons. She's talked about putting your hand in a body cavity, and
they brought up the bus thing 4 times.
But we needed those things because for us as viewers and for us as avid watchers of the show, those are things that are special to us. No matter how grotesque and gruesome they are, we've lived our lives with these people for 10 seasons, So the dance out for me was by far the best part of tonight because the way they filmed it, and it was just like, wow, we have come this far. We've been on this journey with them,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when she like rushed her out of the hospital and she was like, "I need a goodbye," threw her bag in, was like, "Get to step in." I was like, "That's not right."
Eden, I love you. I love you.
Yeah, like get to step in. But when it comes to relationships and saying goodbye to a really close friend, like sometimes it is the closure that people need, and so her coming back and dancing and actually saying goodbye to Shepard and saying goodbye to Old Chief and all and. Saying, the goodbyes is definitely good for a closure for her, and I think she really, really needed that in this episode. But
we needed it too.
Vacations in Switzerland. I don't think it's over.
I know, but it's the thing is, like Starr.
It's sad. No,
I see you
agree.
every week. If you were to move away and be like, I would be like, wow. I mean, I'm missing a person that I care about. I see a lot, and of course, I can come see you in Charlotte or wherever you're going. But initially, you're not going to be south of the 10 anymore.
That's true.
How was it though? Whenever Cristina was leaving, and she just drove a giant wedge between Meredith and Derek's marriage right as she's walking out.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, instigate a giant fight.
Yeah,
nice parting gift, huh?
Gosh.
He's not
and that
the
was
son.
brutal.
No.
She started that in her brain.
Well, but I actually like that she did.
I did too.
Because I think that Meredith was getting a little bit too comfortable trying to go against what she really wanted just to have the happy life she never had. It wasn't a good balance. I think everything she said was true. Derek did lie. He told her it was going to be this way, but at the end of the day, just like she said, he's always going to be the big hotshot doctor that's more important than she is in his own mind, just like he was with his sister.
Right.
I completely agree.
Who's crazy?
I feel like
But
Go ahead.
But when it comes down to it, like, he didn't lie intentionally. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like things came his way and things started to happen.
The president called.
You know what I mean? But with that said, like...
Which, yes, that's true. But
he tried, you know? Like, he was like, go do what you need to do and da-da-da-da-da towards the beginning of this season. And he tried genuinely until the president called.
Well, I was thoroughly happy to finally see Meredith have an issue, and that really stuck out. Besides, are you gonna pick up Zola? What about Bailey? Blah blah blah. Like
this season wasn't about them.
And I know, and that's fine. But the validity and the sincerity and the authenticity of tonight's argument at the end of the episode, to me, was like, it was about time, because they were too happy in their new house, and like. I was sick of it. And not that I don't want them to get their happy ending, because I do, but it was nice to see Meredith and them go at it realistically. And I still stand by the fact that I think Meredith is turning out to be like her mother.
I don't think so. I think this was one of Meredith's best acted episodes ever.
Sure.
And then whenever she was talking about, this is where I grew up, my mom's name's on the hospital, my sister's name's on the hospital, to deliver those ridiculous accusations, we didn't care about her mom ever. And then the fact when they changed the name of the hospital, we thought it was ridiculous. But to really make us believe that she cared about that, I believe Meredith.
I did too.
I never thought Meredith had any roots in Seattle until that moment. I felt like she really loved the hospital.
But
like she rebuilt it.
I think Lexi helped with that, though.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what kind of made it come around for her and made her feel like it was a home, more so than if it had just been her mom and she'd never met her.
Right.
If she'd
That's
only
true.
just let her mom die in the hospital and her stepmom die in the hospital.
And
Well, because then that would have been a reason for her to leave and be okay with leaving, because it's, you know, it's just kind of tainted. But I feel like even though there's all these negative things that happened around the hospital, in the end, Meredith is a strong character who really believes that she needs to stay. And I think she needs to stay too. Moving would not be something, she wouldn't be happy.
Well, it wouldn't work on the show.
Right.
Well,
And it came out of left field.
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, when it came down to it, Yang threw that dagger, kind of got her mind moving, because she was like, oh, you're not going to be here for the surgery that we were supposed to do together? That's fine, honey. You know, she was very lackadaisical.
I don't think it was a dagger. I mean, I could see. It's
Not a dagger.
It's all about interpretation.
I don't think Yang was completely daggering her. I
Right.
think she just was saying the truth.
It
You
was
are
a
my friend.
proverbial,
You are my friend.
You are the
were
sun.
strong. He's not the sun.
the
you were
moon,
the
the
sky.
stars, yes.
The universe. will
They
come-
talked
like,
about
was
it
ridiculous.
before. She could have mentioned, oh, he's moving to DC. Here's how I feel about that. Instead of in this emotional moment, here's my last shaman opinion on it. That's going to stick with Meredith more. And then Christina's walking out the door, doesn't have to see the ramifications of
But I
what
don't
she's
think
done
she
to her
was
best
thinking-
friend's marriage.
But I don't think it was that at all.
Right.
And it's one of those things, when you're actually, she was stalling for 2 weeks. It was finally real. She was really leaving. She just had her closure with her, and she's looking at her and reminding her.
It's true. She
"Don't
probably
get
didn't want to
lost-
admit it.
Don't get lost in someone else's life. That's all you make me strong. You're pushing me out the door to go live my dream. I want to do the same for you.
Right.
Don't
I
get
want to
lost
push
in
you
she's
back
your
in the
person.
door.
Yeah, don't get lost in somebody else's life.
And what a better way. What a better time to connect with someone is within that type of situation, because you're both. That's when you're the most present, because this is the last experience you're gonna have. So I thought it was.
This reminds me of an episode of Celebrity Wife Swap that I watched last night, where in the end, like sometimes you like that one. I love that show, but in the end, like it's all about their careers. But at what point is it going to be about their children? You know, like
Starr,
you know,
good question.
You know, because Bailey's like, gotta go pick up my my kid from soccer is what she said last episode. Who takes the kid to soccer? We never like. I thought he was downstairs at the
Zola
you know what I
in the
mean?
penthouse.
Where is Tuck? We don't even know how old Tuck is anymore.
Well, it
He's
could be
playing.
like-
He's playing
a
soccer
teenager.
for the
Yeah.
past 10 years.
It's like on Days of Our Lives and stuff. They're born one day, they come back next week, they're like full on drug
or
addict.
on Mad Men,
adults.
how the son is a different age every year, and sometimes he goes back in time.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Did you get a feeling there was a sexism issue going on? Like if you had the same Meredith and Derek situation with Callie in Arizona, would the dynamic be different because it's two women who are competing
Ooh.
side by side versus
course.
the male surgeon and
No.
the female? You don't think?
No, because I know what you're saying is there. I could see how that was playing out tonight, but Calzona has had that issue where
When she went
to
to
Africa,
Africa.
and Arizona was the hot shot, going to Africa to save Malawi kids and bring back a baby like Madonna, and then Callie was there and she moved on. So I don't think
But Callie was her own woman then.
right.
She was
And
strong
it's like
enough.
Meredith is becoming the strong woman
Sure.
because
Okay.
I
think
think
it has-
and Callie and Arizona
Good
are in
point.
two different specialties.
Right. Calzone's an
And
orthopedic
Derek
surgeon.
and Meredith are pretty much the same.
Right.
I think that maybe it had a little bit to do with that. I think it has more to do with Derek all of a sudden thinking that his cause is more important than hers. And then maybe her realizing him assuming me as the wife, she's probably tacking on that emotion.
Right.
Do you
Even if
really
it
think
wasn't
that
there
it's just
initially.
now realizing? I think he's always thought that. I don't think it's just now realizing.
I think whenever he was going to step back from his career, he meant it genuinely.
I think
Yeah.
that because his hand was messed up.
Right.
And he didn't think he was getting it.
Yeah.
He was ready to
It was an
be
emotional
slayed.
decision.
Trying.
I agree.
Now
I
all
agree.
of a sudden he's in tip-top shape and he's back
And the
to
president's
I'm
on his job.
shiz.
And, hey, go to iTunes, talk about it on iTunes, comment, rate us, tell a friend. We love to hear from you, especially about the finale tonight. I'm sure you guys all have your opinions. You may not agree with ours. That's fantastic. We love to see what else you guys think about Grey's Anatomy and the after show. So iTunes, do it. Boom. There you go. I don't know. Meredith and Derek, to me...
And I love Meredith and Derek.
I
and
do
I'm always
too.
defending them, but in this situation, I feel like he's always trying to be the man that's you don't matter. I'm the man. I do this. This
Right.
is what the man does. You
My
watch
hair
the
is better
kids.
than yours.
No, I mean, she was up until that fight. She was like, "Oh, okay,
yeah.
It had been brewing, though.
Townhome.
yeah, townhome, whatever." So she was on board. So when it came at him that she was not on board, it was just kind of like a little left field, and
Right.
he was actually hearing her for the first time.
Right.
And when she said, "I'm not signing this papers because I want to stay, not we need to stay," it was like that moment of like, Yang got to me. I need to be top dog, and if you need to move and I need to stay here, maybe our marriages are gonna have to be separated. And
Yeah,
then,
she should never have said I.
yeah.
But do you remember when he was trying to get her to go? Let's move to Washington. Everybody else is moving on. Yang's leaving. So and
But
so's
it's
leaving.
true. There's nothing.
Karev is leaving.
I like change. She doesn't like change.
There's nothing wrong with change, but just in like the way he put it, not let's go build a life together. Here, I've got you this job. Everybody else is taking
Right,
off.
exactly.
You come sit in this nice little job, and I'm going to go off and do what I do, and we're going to have a happy life in Washington.
And
Right.
you know what? She
know?
was reminded of
Her father.
Thatcher. What did she call it? A tag-along spouse?
Yeah.
Tag-along spouse. No,
That's brutal.
a trailing spouse.
Oh yeah, trailing.
Trailing spouse.
That's not a thing. That's scary.
Owen. Poor Owen.
Oh,
You
Like-
guys have always cared about that. I was like, I do not care to see him say goodbye to her.
But,
This
he
has
was
been
part of
going
her
on
story,
for
Julie.
so
It's
long.
true.
You have a baby, you
Those-
leave for 5 months, and you don't care about Owen?
I've never cared about that relationship.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those two have driven me nuts
But
since
tonight,
day one.
he was
I
important,
love it.
though. I mean, regardless of if we cared about Crone or not, he was indicative and imperative to her story. So,
That's true.
what tonight I felt like he didn't get. I mean, he needed more. I don't know.
No, he didn't need more. He got exactly
They-
as much screen time as he needed.
But
Stop it! I
no,
love
I'm
them.
saying that he's in the middle of surgery. She's saying bye. They have this exchange, no words.
I wanted her.
As somebody's dying on the table.
Right, and then like how opportune.
Literally, yeah.
And then looks up, she's there. Looks up, she's gone. The
That
end.
was pretty brutal
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
him.
and I don't know.
Especially because all day he thought that she could have been in this accident,
Yeah.
and that was his
Yeah.
goodbye.
And this
I'm
is
sure
a
he wanted to embrace her.
I mean, this is a person who showed her the
And
steam
do
room,
it one more
who pulled
time.
out her icicle,
Yeah.
who did all these, who changed her life. Seriously, for a
a long
lot,
time
but that's part of her story, you guys.
No,
we can't
is.
discount Owen's
I like Owen.
importance
I've
in
always
the
loved
story.
him.
I mean,
Yang.
I'm with Julie on the fact that they have been together and separated and together and separated and yada yada whoop de whoop, and it's kind of been lingering on. We thought they were done and they slept together. Like, it's just a lot. But of course he needs his goodbye. You know what I mean? Like, I think that goodbye was not enough. I mean, they did it the morning all this happened. But whatever. The long story short is, I feel like he got the short end of the stick. He loves her. He doesn't want her to go. But in the end, like,
she had to leave.
she had to leave because she doesn't want babies.
And then, I mean, fine. So that's the end of Crowan, but Shane.
Shane was like, I gotta go, please.
I will hunt you down and ask you to.
He was fiending for it. Like, I gotta go.
They're gonna be hooking up.
Absolutely.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Especially with how hot she looks in Singapore.
Yeah.
I know.
Sure.
She had like, what was that, like a
like,
I know.
snakeskin dress on?
Why have you
Like
been
nice
waiting this
red
long to
lips.
pull out the little
and the
dress.
hair slips. I mean, you know, she
And
like,
the lipstick.
yeah, mascara, smoky eye
With
down.
the name on the door. Dun,
Dr.
dun, dun.
Cristina
I know you
hated it.
guys hated Shane, but I always liked it for some reason.
I thought Shane was a little bit too frenetic and a little too like he needed some Vyvanse or Adderall just to
he
chill
was
out.
always kind of in the
Like-
in the doorway like this.
like heaving like he
He
did a
just
lot of
was always
cardio.
doing that.
Like he was on a treadmill all day and he's just like
He
like
looked at
The
everybody.
Walking Dead.
He was intense.
Yeah, I
He was
mean,
intense.
and then his hair. I mean, he was just a hot mess altogether. But maybe Cristina Yang likes that. Maybe she likes them brothers. You know.
I loved it whenever he kissed her. I know,
No, that was a
I
cute
liked
moment.
that character.
I can see them together for sure. So
And
it's-
one send off that I liked tonight was the way that they approached Leah.
Yeah.
I never liked that character.
She's a
Didn't
nurse
care when
now.
she was leaving. I'm glad she was the one that was leaving. But I feel like they had her walk out in her little flannel shirt with dignity, and I liked
I
it.
did too. I liked
But
it.
Okay.
what was the realization that she had though?
that maybe I should be a nurse.
Be a nurse.
Maybe I should just be a nurse.
Or maybe she could be in some role. I thought maybe it was like either I should be a nurse or I should be in a patient care hospice
A
role or
convalescent
something,
home or
something
something, you know?
similar
Or
to
maybe
that.
even something as simple as just like family practice, not necessarily surgery.
Right. Or maybe I should be
Yeah.
an ocular, point.
I thought of that
Who
for a
knows?
second, but
Yeah.
But
She's gonna find her
It
thing.
was definitely great, and yeah, Leah. We all four of us hated
I don't
her
think anybody
initially.
liked her.
Initially.
Did you like her?
I did not like
Yeah.
Nobody
Ever.
liked. I don't know anybody online or
No.
anything that
But
stuck
she
up
got
for her.
better. She got prettier.
She got yes.
She got better storylines. But I do think tonight it was. I felt some closure with her. I was like, good for, because she looked around and
Well-
saw a random nurse and some people like, I'm blown up. And then she's like, I found my calling. I'm out of here. Bye.
I think
Yeah.
less of looking at the nurse, more of realizing here the patients are calm and we helped them get to a place of comfort. Maybe
Yeah.
it was
My
that.
thing, okay, can we back it up?
Back it up.
I have a couple questions. First of all, like, why did she come back? Just because she saw on the news?
Yeah,
Yes.
how did she?
Okay.
She came
so that's
in?
A yes.
That's the way I took
You don't
it.
get to do that if
Okay,
you've
so if
just
you-
been fired.
but
Well,
if
she wasn't fired. She was. She
Or
basically.
didn't April do the same thing when
Yes.
the tragedy happened and she didn't pass her boards and she wasn't technically
All of a sudden,
supposed
she
to be
was
there?
like up in it.
And she had said kind of like the same thing
In a
happened.
crisis situation, you get your.
okay, but if there's a crisis and you're at home in your PJs, you didn't want to throw on some jeans?
She didn't have jeans on. It wasn't. The shirt was just long.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
It
she
was,
walked out, she was
really
Those
did
were
look-
leggings.
I thought it was PJs
Those were
too.
leggings.
It was
Oh, I thought it was
Victoria's
jeans.
Secret
No?
flannel plaid.
Yeah,
But I
like
thought she had jeans on. No.
No, she
Did she have
did.
jeans on? She had
She
jeans on.
had
throw on
jeans
some
on, but-
scrubs. You have scrubs sitting right
But
there.
for your own dignity,
I mean,
put
doesn't
on a
matter.
real
Look,
shirt.
I go outside in my drawers all the time. I
I
don't
do
care.
too.
You know,
not to
whatever.
your
Just move
work
that
where
street
you've just
cleaning.
been fired.
Don't like it. Don't look at it.
Did you guys miss me? Ugh. She looked all nasty.
Yeah.
Either way.
She's been depressed at
Yeah,
home.
she was just released
Either
from
way, she
hospital.
was catatonic.
It was funny. Whenever the episode first started, I said, did I miss an episode? Because they didn't even talk about where she told the other interns that it was her. I feel like that was a moment we
they
should have
didn't-
seen.
Yeah, they didn't.
Like the
play
other
it out.
interns,
No.
I don't know, they could have acted like they were sad for her, but then
Well,
celebrated behind her back. Something like that would
We
have
only
been funny.
saw two of the other interns. We saw. Oh, I'm sorry. We saw Stephanie.
It's late.
I know,
we saw
Stephanie.
3 seconds
Yeah.
of Joe in her brand new weave.
I know.
Twice as much hair as last
And
week.
Karev's Batmobile.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm confused about the Karev
His
situation.
substitute penis.
Yeah. I'm like, so he still works in the hospital, but he's the butt surgeon at for Labakis. Is that
Well,
it?
isn't he trying to get patients? Because he has to. The
He was
only way
poaching
he
patients,
makes
right.
money
Yeah,
is
one
to
minute
kind
he's
of
broke,
bring in
the next minute he
patients.
needs a
Lamborghini.
We don't need to talk about
Boat?
Karev. We don't need to talk about Karev. Okay, enough about Karev.
But Crab's coming back next season.
Yeah.
But
So, 'cause-
even the moment between he and Cristina, when she was complimenting him in a way she's never really done before.
Right. Again, see the warmth.
Oh, you guys, that's how he's gonna come back. The board situation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Clearly,
so dramatic.
Julie.
Julie, did you miss the whole thing? Well, let's jump into that.
Whoa.
Some people here haven't
just
got a
like-
good night's sleep
It's just like
in
the
10
surrogate
months.
story.
Oh,
It took him
Did-
10 minutes to figure it out after we had a whole
yeah,
conversation.
that was totally.
about it.
Everybody's talking about that, and then they look at each other. We don't need to have a conversation. We know what each other is thinking.
10 minutes later.
We do need to talk about that after we
Yes,
talk
yes.
about this,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, but okay. Yeah,
Okay,
Karev.
so-
Enough about Karev and Joe.
No, it's not.
What's
No, I mean not about Karev and Joe, but okay. So the whole board situation.
Right. Ooh,
Who's
dun, dun, dun.
who's going to take the seat now that Yang is leaving or Yang has left?
Jason, so if I'm on the board, can I bestow upon you my rights, my position, and my chair as a gift?
And the shares. Is that
And
a
the
financial
shares.
thing, or is that just a pool thing?
The shares are probably freely negotiable, so they can be given to whomever.
Are they money,
unless
or
there's
are they-
a shareholder agreement? It's property. It's
Okay, so they're not money. They're just a percentage
So
of
he has
power.
like his own
it's
ER.
property. And then the shareholders or the board of directors, if it's a nonprofit and there aren't shareholders, then they're the ones who elect the board positions. So there are rules that say here's how the next board seat's going to be filled. So Bailey thinks she's got it. Cristina thinks she gave it to Alex.
Right.
It,
That could be.
Why would Chief Weber think that he could give the seat
Yeah,
away?
who is he?
Because
He
Chief
doesn't
Weber
have any
thinks
shares.
He's God.
Yeah.
He thinks he can do everything. He
Yeah.
thinks he's the boss of
He's
everyone.
the chief.
He barely does surgery. He just walks around grunting all day.
It's like, my omniscient hands tell me that you could never be a surgeon. Okay, Chief.
Okay, but let's think about this. I mean, the chief. He's not even the chief. What's his name?
Weber.
Dr. Weber. I know people's names. I do. I promise. I'm sorry. Dr. Weber. He's right though in thinking that like if I say your name in the meeting, everyone's
Right,
gonna
he's
follow
got the
suit
juice.
not because he has the juice, but because it is the most logical thinking person that would be on the board.
And she
not
would've.
really Karev. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my personal opinion, but Karev could take the position and could be good at it.
I think
in the
Miranda
end.
deserves it more than Karev.
But I agree.
Yeah,
She
Karev
taught him.
left. He left the hospital.
Right.
Is this
She
going to
cares.
divide everybody, though? Is there going to be Team Bailey and Team
Oh, yeah.
Karev
Yeah,
and-
for sure.
Opening
Well,
episode.
I
yes.
find it hard to believe that very many people would pick Karev.
Yeah.
Because
But
Bailey's
Even
always
with
getting screwed over.
Christina's speech at the end, where it was, it was supposed to be me, you, and Karev. George died.
Izzy left.
Izzy left, and it was that to me that was kind of obvious when as soon as he got that package, then I was like because of what she said.
Of course, but that doesn't mean
They came out together. Bailey wasn't a part of that. She was kind of like
She was
the teacher.
above them from the first
So
episode.
she wasn't gonna. That camaraderie wasn't there in that way.
Right.
So since this was their hospital, their money, I couldn't. It just seems like
Well,
Meredith would side with whatever Cristina wanted.
Could they open up an extra seat on the board? Why not?
They-
They make their own rules.
They could. I mean, they could change the rules. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a good episode.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like,
just saying.
I feel like with Bailey,
Pull out the paperwork. Do you have a black pen?
Bailey has never ever been like, in danger of being dead. She's never ever been. She's always been her
She's in
storyline.
danger of losing her license last
Well, yeah,
week.
she's always the girl
going
that's
to
like
jail.
legally screwing up,
She should have gone to jail.
bipolar.
Yeah, that was
She has the
ridiculous.
mental
To
issues.
me, I think she's kind of always been kind of whiny. She thinks she's.
She thinks she's on top. I'm with you, girl.
Yeah,
Keep going.
she always
Amen.
thinks that
Kellie.
she is that knows everything. She knows what's good, best for everybody, and she's always being a brat.
And
Tell 'em.
and she screws up
Always.
the most, right?
Yes.
I know. Okay,
and
that's
she
fair
stomps
enough.
her feet and pounds. Like that's what I feel.
And
like
she's
her
only like
character
4'3".
And
I mean,
that scene of him like rubbing her feet was ridiculous.
That was weird. That was weird, and
But
we're
she had
all like,
nice
that
toes.
doesn't happen. I feel like she's Shonda's favorite,
did you want to
though.
lick her toes?
Oh, duh.
And I mean, and
She's her
I
favorite
like-
character.
I like how she from the beginning of the series, she did mold these people into being great doctors. She did. She was on their butt. She did all of that stuff. But there's a reason I think that she always kind of stayed where she was, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we didn't really see her evolve all of that much.
I would rather have her have been the chief than
Right.
Owen.
Oh, yeah. I thought that too back in the day.
I don't know.
But she's a surgeon, and she got passed over by Callie to be the chief. A lot of
the chief president or
and she finally accepted that she was the surgeon, and that's it. And then we have Calzona tonight, who had an aha moment. Maybe we should have a surrogate.
We were laughing at that part because
like-
it was such a strange story.
It was like,
the
okay.
surrogate's really attached to them, and then the family comes in and they look at each other. Oh, maybe we should. And then we're like, excuse me, surrogate mom, do you have a card?
Yeah.
We're like,
when can
"Can I
we sign
tweet
up?
you?"
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, there's
like, are you available
websites
in
for
a
that.
month?
I got some schooling on it last weekend. There's websites. You
Yeah.
get like paid like $50,000
Right.
a child, and usually when you're a surrogate, you usually have twins or triplets, so you
You
get
are-
50 per person per
Right.
child. If something goes wrong, if there's a preemie, you get more money. Like it's
Right.
just it is
Or
a
egg
business.
donors. Women, like I have a very close friend who's been donating eggs for years now, and she's very fertile apparently, and she's made
She
lots
makes
of money.
7,000 every time she does that.
The thing is though, is
7,000. That's nothing.
7 to 10,000
Right.
for egg donation, 65,000 to be
for
a surrogate.
But it goes
And
up
I-
every
For
time.
egg donations.
And
Okay.
having just been pregnant, I decided I would be a surrogate mother for $2 million.
I mean,
and not a penny less.
see, men, we give sperm. We only get $10 in a pizza.
Oh, you get pizza?
I mean, well, you know,
The $10 gets you the pizza.
we know we get. It's just not right. When
It's not
we're,
even an extra
we're
large.
giving life-giving juice. Why can't we get more?
The other thing that was funny is they're like, she's 31 weeks, she's premature. What? Pull out this 10-pounder. It's because
Is that?
legally babies cannot work till they're 15 days old.
Stop trying to put your baby to work, Julie.
I know, Chili's.
You better put that
saying.
baby to work. You better put that baby to work.
There's a reason I know it, and it's because a casting person contacted me.
Poor baby.
So would you
I love
willingly take your baby into a set like that and let him get all gooped up and pulled
Oh,
out
I'm sorry,
from?
I'm not.
They
sure
don't
it's not my
actually
child.
pay newborns that much, unfortunately, but they are only allowed to work however many days they are old in minutes. So let's say I put my 30-day-old baby, she'd only work 30 minutes. And as long as she wasn't actually screaming, that's kind of fun to have happen to them later in life. You were on Grey's Anatomy.
You are on Grey's Anatomy. But the thing is, like, you have to be a certain kind of parent. If you're like
Right.
all organic and you da-da-da-da, no one's gonna put that goo on it if it's not like
If
made
it's
of
made of
vegan jelly, gluten-free jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a certain kind of parent for that, right?
I like
Where?
how they had a gesture that goes with
Gluten-free.
that.
After the Star's voguing, she's like, it's gluten-free. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it.
And organic.
Organic.
You know, it was nice to see. Okay, so I'm just gonna come out the closet with this. I'm not a fan of Catherine Avery, nor am I a fan of her in real life. But her moment with April, who
In the
April's-
closet.
and always crying and just like so like.
No, I would love to talk about this more because I thought it was kind of powerful.
As much as I'm always complaining about how April is such a crybaby, I didn't take it that way this time.
Well, how did you guys
I
interpret
actually
it?
really liked it.
Why?
I thought it was genuine. I mean, she's newly pregnant. It's scary, and we are in a world where our first thought is terrorism, and that is pretty scary. And to be right in the middle of it when you're about to bring new life, and I mean, and you can speak better at this than I can. It's just such a scary thing to think about.
I will say that before being pregnant, I would work 16-hour days, not sleep afterwards, not care, go 100 miles an hour on the freeway. And the second you become pregnant, everything is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like even tonight, this is the farthest away I've ever been from the baby. I was like, don't you drive that close to me. I have to get home to her after this.
Yeah.
Like it's all of a sudden, like your heart is outside of your body and you can't protect it anymore. And you're calling your pediatrician a million times a day and it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
Because they're this big and you want them to be okay.
Right.
So I totally empathize with her. I mean, I bet she feels like she shouldn't be working in that kind of environment. That probably runs through her head.
Well, especially when it was like maybe it's anthrax. Like
I know.
Yeah.
Gotta take a leave.
Or the x-ray last week.
Yeah.
I'm sure she just feels really scared. And the person to console her
Was
ended up being somebody that's never been on her side
And I
before.
thought
Yeah.
the story that she used was great. I think it was a great
That
little
story was
anecdote.
ridiculous.
I love eat your eggs.
Eat your eggs.
I
I
love
don't like my
waffles.
eggs.
But I like how it was about fear.
Right,
That
right.
was the point
You
of
didn't,
it.
you didn't like
They
the eggs
had
part?
to make it racial.
Her one maternal moment, they put her looking like, what did you call her? Salt and pepper grandma?
Yeah.
She has these little spectacles on.
Push it real good.
I'm in Texas.
Push it. Push it real
good.
good.
I know. Let's talk about sex.
Baby.
Yeah, but she was like, I think it must have been around 1960. I was like, oh my God.
All of a sudden, she's got an accent.
I know. She's like, and my Aunt Jemima was, you know.
She's like, Lordy, listen to me, honey.
I like the point of the story was about fear.
Yeah, I
And
know.
be scared.
And I
Right.
thought it
Fear
was
is the power.
the saying, the way people change the world is moms and daddies raising their babies one at a time. And then it was so funny when she said that to Avery, and he's like, is that a thing? I thought that was just my mama saying.
But she got it from her mama.
Avery, he's one of the most transparent, lackluster characters on the show. I'm sorry, Avery never has any poignant moments at all.
Lately.
I thought
Lately.
last week when he said, or like the week before when he said our hypothetical children are fake, like your God.
Yeah.
That was poignant.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was harsh.
I mean,
Yes.
whatever. And then, yeah, you know, I just, for them, I don't know. Like, I feel like she should end up with Matthew with the great teeth. And
That was never going to
I
happen.
know.
No.
So, what else stuck out about? Well, we have to get to the bombshell. Should we go there now with the
bombshell?
Hello, hi. I'm a mixed. You're your daughter. I'm mixed, and I'm not. I'm not.
Meredith.
Everyone's waiting for me to say something.
Starr.
It's possible.
No, but I mean, okay. Here's the thing.
possible.
So, okay,
Everybody's like, this is really, really scary
Awkward.
territory. Starr, would you take it?
After Buzzers, you saw the show. So Weber comes outside the hospital, and there's the new head
First of all, there's this
Dr.
annoying
Pierce.
new head of cardio.
Head of
Get out of
cardiothoracic.
here. Leave Cristina alone. It's her last episode. Let her do what she wants.
Yeah, and she's like, "Why is this girl acting so mean? Like, it's my Ivy head."
I know,
When is
but
she
I
gone?
thought it was a great way to usher in a new character because you see that.
Well, first of all, I didn't even know she got the job, but continue.
Well, if you were reading Wet Paint and Media Takeout, you would have known.
I mean,
no, but yeah, she was on Scandal. She was killed off on Scandal. Couple on the finale.
What was she on Scandal?
Yeah, she was a non-Sheree. She was a Columbus Shorts like girl that was helping him get fake passports. And she was, I'm gonna lean
Wow,
in
she
on
was
this.
much
Yeah.
sexier on that show. She
But-
seemed very mousy and annoying on this
Well,
one.
that was probably her character for the show.
She did a good job.
She was,
But she was annoying.
Okay, so.
So, anyways, as we were, Julie, I missed you. She's sitting outside there, and I always love those conversations when they're
Outside on the bench.
at
Outside
night.
on the
It's so
bench.
peaceful and that's where that you see a
Until
lot of
it's not.
really, really great moments on the show. And she's like, I don't really know anyone, and it's so funny because my mom's name is all over
I
this
was
hospital.
adopted.
I was adopted. I was like, okay, well, and then she's like, Richard's like, oh shit. I mean, that jump off. I mean, I was sticking to a lot of women back in the 70s.
oh my god.
And then he's like, well, what was your, honey, what was your mom's name? Ellis Gray? Dead.
Okay.
I was just like, really? Come on,
It
really?
was
Meredith being
weird
another
when it
sister.
Are you not? I mean, first of all, Shonda, this is how Shonda Land, this is how y'all screwed up. You gave Meredith a half black sister.
How many sisters
Is it
is
she gonna
Meredith
get a
going to have
half?
coming out of the works? And I will tell you right now, if you're a family member, even long lost of Meredith Grey, you're going to die a brutal death.
Death. So the curse. But
She's
no.
doomed.
And then I thought, you know what, to make it more interesting, if you're gonna have Meredith have a black sibling, why couldn't it have been a black brother, instead of a sister?
Yeah, she's never had a brother.
That would have been an interesting dynamic for the show. You have a brother and he's black. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Ellis Grey does not seem like a character to me that ever would have had a baby.
But when
and
was she
given up
been
for a
pregnant?
guy.
And how
I
have we not
know.
known this?
Okay, so we discussed this a little bit. So basically, the child happened after Meredith for sure, because that's when they were like, Weber and them, they broke up their marriage and yada yada yada, and they were sleeping together.
Alzheimer's.
Okay, as well as when did she have the baby and no one noticed?
Know about it? Yeah,
When would she leave for that
When
long?
was she? Yeah, she was a world class surgeon.
Can't be that much younger than Meredith if
She
she's the head.
is.
But if she's the head of
Right.
surgery now?
Last that's what she said last episode is that
early.
she's been 2 years of head of staff at another hospital, and they were like, but you're so young. And then Yang was like, and then she said, oh, okay, because I graduated high school early, I graduated college
Right,
early,
right.
so
But still,
no
it's,
wonder.
maybe 5 years, 6 years. I mean, how many years could that be?
I mean, all that aside,
What's early?
though,
Like a year early, 2 years early?
but just the whole
possible.
I mean, what a way to end the finale by. I mean, all the things that happened. Yang, I thought that
We didn't
overshadowed
see that
Yang.
come.
Yeah, it was
how
like
is it not in the diary?
right.
How is
Yeah.
it not in her diary?
Right in the journals, yeah.
For 10
And
years.
Ellis doesn't even seem like that kind of character that would have even done
But
that.
see, maybe
Okay, so
Legal Eagle
Legal Eagle, what was
Yeah.
your
interpretation
or what did you think
of
happened?
Project
Newborn.
Project
Well,
Meredith's
Project
Black
Nick's baby.
Sister.
This is probably really inappropriate, but I think Weber took advantage of her, of their relationship because she did have Alzheimer's,
Right.
At the time,
No, she did not have
You think
Alzheimer's
that-
when they
no,
were
not
having an
then.
affair.
No, but
early onset, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Oh
I
my
thought
gosh, she woke up every day. Oh.
if she,
Oh, whoa. She relives it over and over again.
she had the baby, nobody knew about it.
We'll
Web-
definitely
maybe
find
Weber,
out next season.
Weber
of
was
course.
hiding it.
You
No,
think
he was so shocked. There was no.
He was pissed.
He was pissed.
He wasn't shocked. He was. He
He's like, I gotta pay
pissed.
child support.
It's like,
Damn.
He's got
This
a
is
kid.
really gonna ruin my life.
Dr.
well,
Weber,
there's
you
a-
are the father of Dr. Paris.
Are the daddy. My thing is, like, when it comes down to it, she is smart, right?
Right.
So if she went to the courthouse and she figures out the name, wouldn't she be smart enough to figure out that her sister also works there? She didn't even say
Yeah.
that. She was just like, her
could
name's
hire
all
it.
over the hospital.
And she was very
How would she not know that Meredith was on the board of this hospital? She just got
Exactly.
hired.
Right.
And why would you be sitting there on a bench
Pondering.
sobbing your first day and to your boss be like, well,
I'm adopted.
here's everything that's wrong and here's everything that's been wrong my whole life.
Yeah, like it was a bit much.
It wasn't powerful enough because it could have gone two ways. It could have been like, Dr. Weber, sit down. Blah blah blah. I'm daughter of Ellis Gray. She could have been like very matter of fact about it. But you're right, Starr. The way she was like, I mean, Annie, where am I? I'm at this hospital and my name's on it. My mom supposedly worked here and she's Ellis
Do
Gray.
you
You may
know
have known her. I mean, she's a world class. I mean, she did. She's kind of famous. But yeah, so here I am. Like all
I
like.
can't imagine Ellis Gray
Making
would have
my
not
way
had a
downtown.
sealed adoption.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Like, just how...
if she was going to keep it secret and put the baby up for adoption, wouldn't she take the extra steps? Or maybe
Right.
Hey,
she's like,
look, TMZ could get the elevator video
Yes.
of the
So,
Solange attack. So even a sealed adoption is
It's not off
safe.
limits.
Not
right.
always safe.
True.
Right.
Jay-Z
But I-
one-
She made it
100th
sound
problem.
so easy. She went to the courthouse. I just had to ask, and they told me my mom's name.
Right, like it's that simple. Like, are you my father? But I will say, as far as the content in writing, that was definitely like boom.
No,
like,
no
whoa.
one saw that
I was like,
coming.
what?
Did you see
Yeah.
that coming
I
on
did
wet
not
paint?
know. I did not see that coming in wet paint.
Just wondering.
I did not see that coming in wet paint. But no, I thought that was that because that leads us to for next season. Like, is she?
But all these questions are going to be answered.
answered? And then also, are we in accordance that Junkie Sister should go?
Who's sister?
Who's Junkie
Amy
Sister?
needs. And why is she
Seattle.
back? Why? Like her wig was
yeah.
far better
She
this week.
She almost had a moment with like Meredith, and then Yang came and like took
Oh,
that moment
yeah.
away. Like no one even cares.
Yeah, I was like, Amelia,
Yeah.
Amy, no, girl, your time is come and gone. That show was canceled. It was called Private Practice.
I didn't
Done.
like her on Grey's the first time. I didn't like her in
Yeah,
Private Practice the
like,
second time, and now, yeah, I almost forgot she's even doing
Right.
that.
yeah, like
Yeah, like not needed lanyap.
over that.
That
Yeah.
was
Did
that
Derek get a haircut?
junkie
Really?
sister.
Really?
Junkie sister. We
Sure.
didn't even know.
Maybe.
Right. You're like,
Amy. Yeah.
Amy, Katerina Corsoni.
I
Corsoni.
would, although she does look like Derek's sister.
They casted that
Yeah,
very
they
well.
did.
They
Yeah.
Very
casted
well.
that better than Weber's daughter.
Yeah, Weber's.
She can be mixed and look black. Everyone's thinking
No,
it.
I
and I am
understand.
saying it.
But no, shit, and that's the thing. And
I
here-
am mixed and I look black.
I am mixed as well too. However, my mom is black, so I look black. But the thing is, black is okay. Not to get
but
racial after
is it the hair color? I mean, is it the hair?
African American is the
tendril?
dominant gene, but like, okay, a mixed baby. Look at Mariah Carey and
I'm
Braden.
a mixed baby.
Braden, but white and black is different than Puerto Rican and black, Starr.
Okay.
It is. It's the truth, though. I mean,
And
I'm gonna post a picture of me and mommy.
but here's
You're
the
gonna
thing.
be like, oh,
it was just way
how's
too.
that possible?
It was just way too like, what? Are you? Come on! Really? You're Ellis's daughter, you know?
she does, yeah.
But
bad
get
picture, but-
props to
Yeah,
Shonda Land for
that's
making her a black, her be black. Because instead of it being
Her be
like,
black.
instead of
You
it
got
being another
crazy.
Lexi or another, oh hi, I'm also.
No one cares that she's black. No, the point is that like Weber has an illegitimate child out there
It's
that
more so that it's Weber's daughter versus her being black. I
I
think it's not
guess
a race thing.
I know. I'm not gonna. I'm done. I'm
But
turning
I know,
off my
that's not,
mic.
I know that's not your point.
Yeah.
My point- I'm
the
just
point
saying.
is like
But that just
everyone
yes.
that probably went through their mind for a moment, and then you're like, okay.
Notice
I
how
think
I
the
don't say
bigger-
anything
the
because
bigger
I have no
picture-
idea how to talk about this.
The bigger picture is that it's Weber's daughter.
Right.
So now
Yes, Kellie.
that was like a whole thing between Meredith and Weber, that when she found out that about the affair and all of that, so is that going to drudge up old stuff
Right.
about
And
it breaking up her home and the relationship with her dad, and now that all of that.
Meredith thinks of Weber as her dad,
Right.
and this is actually his biological dad.
Right.
And at the same time, this woman is replacing her best friend.
Friend.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of dynamics. This girl is not
and
going
then
to.
she just kicked her husband to Washington.
and we saw how mean Meredith can be. She can be good. She can be really, really harsh. She put that spy man in his place
Yeah.
instantly.
yeah.
You're the boss out there. I'm the boss in here.
Right. Well, I mean, I think tonight, for as far as the finale on a scale of 1 to 10 was an 8. As far as and I think and that helped with Cristina leaving. That was a very powerful morsel in the show tonight. I'm excited to see what the premiere will be like in the fall because we have all these new well, we have this major new development, and I also want to
Right.
see what new characters come on and what new characters are coming.
No, you don't. Because when they come on, we're gonna be like, we hate the new
But,
characters.
no, I'm not talking. But we didn't.
I already hate them.
New heavy hitters.
kidding.
You know, we need to have. We lost Teddy.
We embraced Mark. We embraced,
Right.
you know, Lily.
Mark. I'm sorry, I was
Mark
thinking
Sloan, it's the name of the
McDreamy.
hospital.
Yeah.
So I think tonight's episode was a slam dunk because, in my opinion, it takes better writing and more courage to do an actual send off for a character than just do a bus hit.
True.
So I thought it was a great way to do a bus hit or a cancer or a
Bus hit was
plane
dope.
crash.
Dude, cancer was great too. Plane crash was fantastic. I mean, those were all very.
I mean, I like edge of your seat, action packed, lot
Yes.
going on.
But there has been a finale where they didn't have that.
Yeah, there was one.
and that was
When Derek left her and she messed up his trial.
exactly.
And
So sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It
Right.
needs to be like a shock of like, oh, there's a child that was adopted.
Got it. Got it.
You know?
Well,
So,
well, there
anyways.
you have it, you guys. The finale of season 10 of Grey's Anatomy. I'm satisfied. I've been satiated. And you know, do we want to do predictions or we just want to leave it at that? Leave it at
We're doing it.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV
Like, move on.
predictions.
fine. I predict that season 11 will be new and exciting and fresh and interesting now that we've Starr, you know, the bus I'm always thrown under with you.
Yeah, that was the best finale ever.
Well, an
Bye-bye.
actual prediction. I think they're going to try to have a marriage separate in DC and Seattle.
I think they're gonna break up.
No.
No, they can't.
That
because
can't
his-
happen.
His contract got renewed, so he's here.
That don't mean they can hate each other from the same city.
That would be great drama if they broke up.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. Those two are meant to be.
No, they're not gonna break up their home with all their kids and like, like I don't think that's gonna happen. I just think it's gonna be a rough next 6 months.
And I
They'll
will
figure
say,
it out.
I also predict that somehow this show will have a fantastic 11th season.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the longest running shows I could think of.
Right.
That still
Longer
got
than the
it.
symptoms. The symptoms. Sorry, it's late, you guys.
It's so great to be back.
Yeah.
And to say goodbye is pretty sad. But
Right.
I don't have any predictions. So let's see
no.
you guys on YouTube and let's talk on
Yeah, and
you
on
know
Twitter.
and
Yes.
And thank
I'm gonna
you-
miss you guys.
Yeah, you too. And AfterBuzzers, thank you for a fantastic season. We love sharing our thoughts on Grey's with you every Thursday. Have a great summer. Until next time, I'm Jason J. Carter. Find me on Twitter at JDC Forever.
And I'm Julie Partin. I would love to keep talking to you guys over the summer. My is JuliepPartin on Twitter and Facebook.
And I'm Starr Session. You guys can find me on all things social media at StarrSession. I'm gonna miss you guys, but keep in touch online.
And you can find me at Kellie with an IE 079 everywhere too.
And
we'll
on our couch.
Yes.
Up your biz.
We'll see you guys in September for Grey's Anatomy Season 11. Until then, bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.